Hey. Oh, well, you already here. I had your music on for one good time before we start. Rose it grows, sir. This is dope. That Woes and Grows is fire. I ain't gonna lie, it's fire. First, I gotta play the first track, track number 1. This one's. I love how you intro this. This was dope. I love this. This is my life. Big facts. I agree. Oh, there goes my sis Tamara Savage. Hey, sis. Come on, songwriter. Look, no, I don't write nothing. I see JR. Hey, guys. We are jamming. I see you, bro. I'm so sorry. You know, I had some personal stuff, y'all. Please say a prayer for my family in Louisiana right now. I'm kind of a little down, but you know, like I said, this music gives me so much love, light, and joy, and this was all about. And now I'm just super, super excited to interview this individual today on my show and just be so proud to get me through the day today because I needed it because today your girl's been stressed out, y'all, and I got my hair down, y'all, for the second time, but thank you, bro. I appreciate it so much, y'all. My best friend, please pray for my best friend Cece. She's down there, y'all. Pray for my family, y'all. Everybody in Louisiana, y'all, right now they are dealing with the hurricane. It did hit. Just say a prayer, you know, like I said, y'all, just, you know, this too shall pass. And like I said, we can't control Mother Nature. We just got to control and save the lives because, you know, material things do not matter anymore. Life matters. So thank y'all. Yes, y'all. Look, y'all, I actually like this better. So y'all, look, I dyed my hair black because the last time y'all seen it, it was like brownish. So this looks much, much, much better. But I'm super excited today to just interview this beautiful individual on my platform. His album today makes 1 year. It's just gonna be dope. I'm ready to talk to him and just get his experience on the album because this album is dope. It's gotten me through today because today has been. Yes, I'm natural. Yeah. Oh, you here for? Okay. So yes, thank you, Miss Jaquiel. Thank you so much. I really, truly appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. Thank y'all so much. Yes. I actually like this better. This is actually better than all the other ones. I'm like, nah, but she will have a wig on in a couple weeks, so be prepared for that. Thank you. All right, so after this song, I'm going to bring Jaquiel in because I love this album. This album is dope, and I had to interview him because this album will put me in my mood, but used to get myself together. Yes, I'm gonna go with the wigs. Yes, I am, sir. Yes, sir, I will. But yes, this is all mine, y'all. This is all me. I'm all natural. So yes, this is all of me. My little star. Mm-hmm. Hey. Okay. See, I can hum it and sing it, but I can't. But yes, I'm going to bring Mr. Jaquiel in. Super excited to have him on my platform. I love this segment, Who's Next, because it brings me to so many people. It does. I told album is a vibe. This dude is like on some Raphael Sadiq, some Lauryn Hill, the male version of Lauryn Hill type of stuff. I was like, wait a minute, hold up. I had to sit back, but it's so beautiful. I love it. So I'm about to bring him in the next 2 minutes. Super excited, and then we are gonna get started. But I had to play this album. This album is a joy. It's been a joy to me today because this has gotten me to calm down a lot because my nerves have been super bad. I told you, bro. I told you this album is fire. I've been listening to this album since last year, but it's so dope. So yes, I'm going to definitely bring him in the next 2 minutes. Super excited. Hey, man, we got some legends up in here. Hold up, legends. Hey, Mr. Tyrion, like I know you. What's going on, sir? How are you doing? Come on, we got some legends up in here. Come on, come through. Yes. We gotta support our independent artists, y'all, because independent artists mean so much to me because they break through just like an artist that has a recording contract. It does not matter. The music speaks for itself. It speaks everything. So super excited. So I'm about to get ready to bring him in. Wish you were my little star. Okay. Set you free. Hey. All right. So we're about to. Okay. Now look. Now you large, sir, because after what you done, I ain't got nothing on y'all. Okay. Okay. So I'm about to go ahead and bring him in. Mr. Jaquiel in. Join live. I am excited. Yes. Okay. Yes, I can hear you.
What's good? How you doing?
Listen, I am good. Well, you know what? Right now, I'm a little down. But, you know, God got me because I am super worried about my family right now. So this interview is bringing me a lot of light and joy because if I didn't have an interview today, I was going to be sitting in my room depressed. And I would refuse. I did not want to have that. I was like, look, I am super excited to have you on my platform. I mean, hold up. Before I do get started, because I need to introduce myself to make sure everything is okay, to make sure that I, introduce a up-and-coming legend, okay? So, hi, guys. No problem. Hi, my name is Chastity Buckley, y'all. I'm the host of Midnight R&B Edition. Homage Midnight Lovely BET, where I give all my flowers to all my R&B legends, singers, songwriters, and producers, everybody who has changed the game in R&B and R&B forever. And I love this segment y'all call Who's Next. This is a segment I literally just made up like a couple months ago, but ever since I've done this segment, it has brought me so much joy to people that is up and coming, that is really gonna make their name for itself in music history. And I'm here, y'all, with an up and coming legend. This man right here, I discovered you last year, sir.
I appreciate it. I appreciate it.
Man, I appreciate you. But yes, I'm here with a 2-time recipient of the Sammy Award. Congratulations on that, sir. I know you just recently won a Sammy Award. Thank you so much. Singer, songwriter. I mean, this man, you really, really are, and a musician, a jack of all trades. So super excited to have you on my platform, the one and only Mr. Jaquiel. If I'm saying that correctly, Mr. Jaquiel? Yes. Thank you so much. I'm super excited. Oh my God, we got a producer up in here. Hi, 6 John. See, okay, look. Hold up, Jaquiel. Hold up. If you bring some big time people up here, let me know, sir, because
I'm guessing so.
Gotta be. I mean, man, you are so dope. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Making it. Like I said, I want everybody to send a prayer for my family in Louisiana right now. You know, we're dealing with a hurricane. Hurricane Ida, excuse me. You know, today is also the 16th anniversary of Katrina. So, you know, it's been a crazy, crazy time. I remember a time in my life where it's just been crazy. But, you know, y'all, like I said, this too shall pass. Trouble don't last always. But just send love and light to my family. So thank you so much.
One thing that are consistent in life is seasons and change.
Come on.
So we always have to be aware that there will be seasons in our life. The same way our trees go through a winter, a spring, and a summer, we go through that as well. And those trying times make for the testimonies.
Come. See, that's why I love you, because I mean, you be getting it up. You be getting it, okay? And you know what? Before we do get started, ask how you doing. Today, I am congratulating you because it's the 1-year anniversary of the Summers in the South Wash. Congratulations.
Thank you. Yo, that album is
Woo!
Yeah, it pushed a lot of boundaries for me as an artist, and the impact has been nothing short of amazing. Like, I love what it's brought into my life, the relationships it's brought. And, you know, it just shows you just how on the other side of our fear, there is such great things.
Come
You
on.
know, if there's somebody that's watching this right now and there's something that you want to do, there is a dream or a vision that you have, and trust and believe on the other. You may be afraid to implement it, but I promise you, on the other side of that, there is nothing but great things available for you and coming your way. I
Come on.
promise, like I promise.
Well, thank you. I truly appreciate that. And I want to congratulate you because I'm excited to celebrate this album.
I'm happy
Because
to meet you.
woo,
This is the way to celebrate.
I mean, look, hey, look, I said celebrate all day, every day. But I mean, for this album right here to be such a beautiful body of work, I'm so excited just to have you on my platform because I discovered this album last year when I started my platform. I don't know if it was around September, October. Literally, when I started 1 year ago, my platform, I seen you on somebody's platform. I'm like, okay, let me kind of get this dude some type of, research on him. When I heard that album, baby, it put me in my mood. I said, okay. I said, this is what I'm talking about, soul music. And you're bringing it. And I'm so super proud of you. So proud of you, Jaquiel. Proud.
Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you so much. And before we do get started, I wanted to ask you, how have you been doing since now we're in 2021? Happy New Year and everything that's going on with you. How have you been doing?
I mean, I've been doing well. Right now, I'm growing into manhood, I guess you would say. You know, when I'm starting to take on a lot of those responsibilities as an adult. And, a lot of times, when you're in a creative space and you have like responsibilities, a lot of times artists can feel like responsibilities can hinder it. But I'm starting to see how a friend of mine said it best. He said, men is like dump trucks sometimes. And sometimes we drive the straightest with the most weight on us. So taking on these different things, like getting a house, a dog, things like that, place me in a position where it's like I have to really focus on the essentials. And I think that's been the theme of our entire world over the course of this last year with the pandemic. What is essential? What do you really care about? What is going to bring a smile to you today? Because tomorrow isn't promised. So what's going to bring you joy today, and tapping into that? And that's why we've seen so many people where before, the generations before us, we watch people take all of those dreams and aspirations to the graveyard. Now it's like we have so many people who, I'm an author, I just put out a book. It's like we have the ability to do so many amazing things. And I think that we all should be tapping into that energy. What is going to make you happy? What is going to bring joy to your life?
Man, you better preach. And you know what? I love how you said about energy and happiness, because I think a lot of people, we don't understand that the energy is so real. And energy kind of understands you about people and just who you are as a person, because whatever you attract to yourself, it brings on that energy. It can be either negative or positive. But you always want to have a positive energy to make sure that, people that are around you would have positive energy, but not even that, make sure you're uplifted and make sure that you're doing what you got to do. I'm just so proud of you. Like, congratulations on your book. I didn't know about the book stuff. Yeah. What? You was out here making moves and ain't telling nobody, okay?
Yeah. Well, listen, and I said this before, like in the TED Talk, the richest place in the world is the graveyard. So many people, we pass away with so many aspirations and dreams. There were people who could have been inventors, who could have been doctors. There could have been a cure for something out there, and because of fear, so many people didn't implement that. Like, I'm pretty sure before you created your platform, there was a certain seed of doubt or fear as to if this was going to be successful, if this was going to work. And you decided to do that. And now we are blessed to sit here and be looking at each other and bring this to people, because we both decided to pass that threshold and be a blessing, not only to ourselves, but to the rest of the people around us.
Come on, yes. And I mean, when you say leap of faith was the reason why I did what I did, because I'm like, okay, God, I don't know what you want me to do. Like I said, I love music. I'm going to love what it does for me, but I wanted to help impact other people. And not only that, just make sure that people are always honored, regardless of where you are in your position in R&B or just music in general. I want to bring light and joy. and not even that, just acknowledge the people that really contribute to the world of music, you know?
Right.
So I just
I
love
love
to
your
be on that.
platform. Oh, you be taking me back. I be hearing you like, oh, she done hosted John B today. What?
Yes, look,
Yeah,
that's
you
my
be taking me back, girl. You do it.
look.
You do it for him.
I try, but I make sure I want to always, honor the past and the present. And just like I said, for people that really, really have changed the game, I have to always honor them and make sure that they're always recognized for who they are, you know? And I just love what you did for this album, Summer Nights in the South, where I know we're going to get started about that, but I want to talk to you about the history of who you are, because we need to know who you are, Mr. Jaquiel. I know you are from Syracuse, New York.
Yes.
And I wanted to ask you, how was it like growing up in there, growing up in New York, because I know the NY, the home of hip hop and everything else. How was it like growing up there, but not even that? Like, who was some of your inspirations of music? Because I know you said your grandfather played a huge role in your music. So how can you talk about that, about how was living up north in New York when at the time you were coming up?
Growing up in Syracuse was a weird situation because I didn't know this until I studied economics that while I was growing up there, we were one of the highest levels of areas of highest concentrated poverty for Black and Latinos.
Oh, wow.
But when you are young and growing up poor, you don't know you're poor. You don't know you're poor until you get exposed to the outside world and you recognize the amount of resources that other people have. So, grew up with that. I seen a lot of violent things growing up, and in my environment, like most hoods, a lot of hoods is the same. We respect bronze over brains, So a lot of times we will respect somebody who is big or somebody who is playing the tough role as opposed to somebody who's artistic or somebody who's idealistic. A lot of times imagination gets shut down in the hood. And I went through those same experiences where my imagination almost got shut down. They threw a lot of my friends in like remedial classes. They almost threw me in remedial classes because, if we just keeping it honest, that's something that a lot of young Black men suffer in our school systems.
Right.
So, and my mother was always a huge advocate. Like, shout out to all the single moms out there that, got a knucklehead son that's holding it down, because my mother played a huge role in just trying her best to keep me on the straight and narrow path.
Right.
My grandfather was a musician. He was dropped out of school to start a band. And the only reason why he went back and got his high school diploma was because of James Brown and James Brown creating a song called "Don't Be a Dropout."
Woo!
That is like the seed links that started sort of my journey and showed you how impactful a musician can be, because he wrote that song and my grandfather took that song in and went back, got his diploma, got with my grandmother and created a solid life and was able to work a job and create a solid life, and they walk so we can run. Like we always want to be able to do better than the generation that came before us.
Yeah.
So, and he will always put me on my stomach. Oh, you gotta get the diaphragm strong. You gotta get your diaphragm right. Like always, always, always. You wanna be a singer, right? So all the Sam Cookes, the Motown, the doo-wop, like all of these things. I always tell people I went to like a Motown boot camp.
Come on, Motown.
On Christmas time, I got to be ready with the high notes, but it was the night before Christmas.
Okay.
Yeah, in my mind.
Come through. Wow. I love that story because I know when I was reading about you, I know you said your grandfather played a huge role in your Motown legacy. And I know you said Marvin Gaye played a huge role into your life. I know when I was listening to the album today, you kind of remind me of like the Motown, groove about the soul music, the vibe. But not even just that, I've learned from you from the conscious stuff that you were doing, like Marvin Gaye was doing with the What's Going On album. This Some Nights in the South work kind of reminds me of that in so many ways in that nature, because I love when you were talking about the statistics, because I think it screams in the South where you were talking about how the way Syracuse was of growing up, and it kind of threw me because I'm like, wow, this reminds me of the South, like, coming from Dallas, Texas, we have hoods similar to this. I come from poverty myself, coming from projects growing up. I've been around, Spanish, Latina people, Black people, coming from the hood, seeing where we come from, and people just putting us in this box. But you have to really break out the box. And like you said, I'm so thankful for my mother as well. She did the same for me, but she always taught me, Chastity, there's so much you can do better. You're always better. Don't never think you're less than. So listening to your album, it does remind me some things about, what you said about Black people, but not even just that. It's just the fact what I'm learning from this album too, you was making conscious statements just like Marvin Gaye with his album. So, you know, I kind of see that dynamic in that.
Yeah,
Where you
and
get the Motown feel.
that album definitely inspired me.
Oh
And
yeah.
you know, I wanted to, as I got older and I recognized, like, when you're a musical artist and you out performing, you're gonna be performing these songs for the
Oh
rest.
yeah.
If they are impactful, you're gonna be performing them for the rest of your life. What words do you want coming out of your mouth for the rest of your life?
Mm.
I have to really go out there and perform. I want to perform Eternal Nights and Eternal Sunshine. I want to
Okay.
perform Goes It Grows. I want to perform Heart Guided. You know, I want to perform stuff that's going to make me feel good, but also make other people feel good as well. And, you know, and just being about having that mindset and knowing that the songs that we create are gifts that we give to the world that we can never give back. We can never get these gifts back, you know, so I want to make sure it's impactful. Like, the other day, and this, I cried when this happened, and I don't cry often.
Right.
Someone contacted me. I had did an open mic in Oakland probably like 3 years ago. And one of the girls that was at an open mic doing poetry became a teacher. She ran a class called Afrofuturism, and they decided to use one of my songs and have the kids go through and dissect the lyrics and things like that. And when I tell you, like, hearing these kids that's 11, 10, you know, that's coming from the environments that I came in, and seeing that they're dissecting my lyrics and it's giving them something to believe in, that's why you do this. Like, that is why you do this, because they may not know a lot about me, but the fact that they were impacted and inspired, you know, because God only knows what they're going to grow up to be and do.
That's right.
And that could have been a changing moment for them, you know, so just
Come on.
our impact as people and how something we may deem as small can be something so great to somebody else.
Come on, man. You know, that's what I do for my show, dissect lyrics too. And I feel that it's so amazing because what I tell people all the time, music is power. Music is very powerful and it can touch lives so much. And that's why, you know, learning about you so much, like I can understand from where you gravitated to your grandfather and then, you know, growing up in Syracuse and then, you know, going and graduating from Old Westbury, like you were kind of making your transition into making sure that, you know, you kept a lot of legacy of knowledge from your, you know, your grandfather down to your mother, down to you. You know, you were kind of keep that lineage of what's going on. I think to make conscious of what you know of who you are as a person, but as a black man in the community, you know? And so looking at that, I can kind of see now, you know, I see in this transition, like, okay, you're inspiring teachers. You were actually an advocate, youth advocate, I know for sure.
Yes.
Yes. Oh, you know, honey, I got to do my research. But with that, did you feel that? Go ahead.
I worked in schools all throughout. I work in schools now all throughout the U.S. I even taught in China. And one thing that I've come to recognize is that there are basic human needs. And you want to know what I found amazing? And you may find this amazing too. When I was in China, they bump all our old R&B. Like, there was songs where I was like, you remember that song? Can you feel the air? I remember being in China and I'm getting tea and I'm like, what? Like, they bump all our old R&B, but that shows you the impact of music. You know, like, that shows you the impact of R&B music and how it channels certain feelings. And I love, like, one thing I do love about when our parents and our grandparents play music, it's something that the kids can listen to and you don't got to feel like slighted of what they may be hearing.
Right.
Because when Marvin Gaye was talking about "Let's Get It On," I'm just now understanding as a grown man, like, oh, what do you think? You know, like, I'm just now understanding these things.
Yeah. So I feel like, you know, and I love how you said that when you went to China, did it kind of change your life when you went to another country about how your perspective was of, you know, traveling around the world, about being that you as a black man can go around and help and touch lives, but not even that, you kind of see yourself in so many ways around the world?
It showed me that this is it's an asset. But a lot of our black men, we don't never leave this country, so we don't recognize that when you go other places, you are a superhero. You are a superhero as a black person when they look at you, and it threw me because I'm from America where they teach us that this is an ailment, and this is so far from an ailment. This is an asset. There is something in that makes you this, that is so beautiful, but more than that, it taught me that there is a basic human need that everybody shares. Like,
Mm.
music is really universal. Like, music
Yes.
really brings everybody together. Because even when you don't, if you listen to a song, you don't understand the language, but there is a feeling that you understand. And
That's
feelings
right.
are universal.
Mm. Mm. Yes, because my feelings for this song on the album that really like touched me a lot was So Far So Hard. Um, I can understand the feelings of that because I can see in that part you were transitioning from your feelings, but then I like the end. I don't know if that was Louis Farrakhan at the end of that was
Yeah,
speaking,
yeah.
but when I seen it, I can understand that you were going from yourself to the transition of loving a woman, and that's when I seen that Tribe of Desire, I'm like, oh, okay, I see what he's talking about, building a family. You get what I'm saying? So
Absolutely.
with that, I can kind of see what you're talking about with feelings. Like I think we get in this mindset that men don't have feelings, but men do have feelings, and I
Hmm.
think when you talk about it in the music it speaks so many volumes, and that's why I was like, wow, he really is touching. Because I can see the conscious stuff, but then I can see where you're coming on with loving a woman, or not even that, just loving her, showing her that she is queen, that she is valued. Period. You
Hmm.
know.
Absolutely. I mean, and when I started to get out of the hood, I recognized
Mm.
some of the the hood mentality. Because I left
There you
physically
go.
first, and then I had to leave mentally second. When I left out of that mentality, I recognized a lot of the things that we were taught, especially when in regards to relations, are
Yeah.
like we have not, like, even when I grew up, I seen a lot of kids, but I seen very few couples.
Oh yeah.
I seen very few marriages. I seen very few relationships. I seen very few two-parent households.
Hmm.
And recognizing the magnitude of stability that brings, and
Yeah.
recognizing that one day I might have children, and that if I don't sort of settle these things that I have going on, these practices that I learned that are not
Yeah.
correct, that are wrong, I can
Yeah.
end up repeating the same generational trauma that I
Come
was
on.
given, and
Yeah.
not recognizing that that's not something we want to do. So it's like,
Mm.
and sometimes it hurts because we got to take that hurt from our mama, our
Yeah.
grandma. We got to take all of that hurt from all these generations that never dealt with it, and we
Yeah.
got to take it on, settle it, figure it out, get all the puzzle
Hmm.
pieces together, so that way we can move on from it because we don't
Yeah.
want to go in circles. And
Mm.
I'm so thankful that I was born into this generation of being mindful and
Yeah.
recognizing trauma, because these are new vocabulary words. They're not new,
Right.
but they're new in regards to common culture. They're new in
Yeah.
regards to us regularly talking and regularly being able to acknowledge, oh, hey, that's trauma. Somebody not looking at you like you got to go to a psych ward for
Right.
acknowledging like that.
Yeah, and I definitely love how you said that because I think in our the black community we have the break generational curses. I know for me,
Mm-hmm.
when my time came, I had to leave Louisiana, and it was crazy because I'm from there. But my thing about it is like you can be from the hood, but you don't have to be a part of the hood. Your mentality doesn't have to be there, and that's why I think when I broke away, it made me free as a person. That's why understanding your album, it talks so much about that. And I wanted to talk to you about like how did you like what made you leave from teaching to become in the music industry? Like what made you to come to transition from that to this?
So I was actually about to go into law school. Um,
Mm.
I was about to go into law school because I'm just gonna be straightforward with you. When you a
Yeah.
young black man, you look good, you talk good, they automatically say, "Hey, well, we have these corporate positions available for you."
Yeah.
And they try to lay out a path for you. And it was
Yeah.
like I was always into music. I was driving a van with a bunch of kids in it doing an after-school program. I usually used to have the aux, and I remember it like it was yesterday. This day I forgot the aux, so I couldn't DJ for them. So we didn't have no choice but to do the radio. I
Right.
ended up hearing an ad for a karaoke club. And they were like, oh, singing competition, da 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 da. So I'm like, you know what? I ain't sang in a minute. I got these LSATs that got me all stressed out. I'm about to go somewhere and sing. I went
Mm.
and I sang, and the way it made me feel, there was a feeling that I tapped into that people only get to experience when you are in the true essence of your purpose. When you are
Mm.
doing something that you were born to do, there is a feeling, there is a sense of alignment and balance within the universe where you feel like, oh, this is where I am meant to be. And it could be different crafts and different fields depending on the person. But
Wow.
everybody experiences that sort of universal alignment where it's like, this is where I'm meant to be. So I decided I'm about to go back into music. I went and I produced and recorded I Can Fly. That song got me to a TED Talk. It got me to and it opened up so many doors. Like, so
Ooh.
many doors. But do you see how I almost blocked that blessing? I almost
Yeah.
didn't tap into that and left it and let it die, not
Yeah.
realizing that I was killing myself with it.
Come on.
You know, so
Yeah.
and we got to tap into that. Like everybody has a divine purpose,
Yeah.
and your goal is to find it and fulfill it before you leave this earth.
Come on. And I'm so happy that you talked about, it was a mistake. I think it wasn't a mistake. It was God's plan for your life. And I feel like when that happened for you, you were really at a point in your life to say that, I think God was trying to show you, like, my passion in music came back to me,
Mm-hmm.
but it came back to me when I was with some kids, which was
Yeah.
amazing because, sometimes we feel like that we're obligated to do something. But I think the thing is, we're not obligated to think about is God has to kind of redirect us to the path that he wants us to, Because for
Mm-hmm.
me, I was about to become a teacher, but I think when my father passed away, it kind of was like a change in my life, but I knew that, music would get me through. But the crazy part, the pandemic hit, and I'm like, what am I supposed to do? So with that, I just tapped into the music and it just changed my life in so many ways. But I think for me, I'm not a singer. I'm a historian. I'm a researcher. But my thing about it is I want to acknowledge the rhythm and blues music for what it did for me, but not even that, what is done for other people.
Absolutely.
So I get what you're saying
Yeah.
about, having that.
I mean, we gotta give you your roses. Like your platform is absolutely amazing. Absolutely
Aww.
amazing.
Oh, thank you so much. I mean, I'm even proud to even have somebody like you because when I first did start my platform, I noticed you. I don't know how I found you, but I found you
I don't
on
know how we
somebody's
found
platform.
it either, but we
Yeah, and
connected off rip. It was like we here, we here, we here.
we trust. We always when I can tap in somebody's music and I feel something in my soul, I can tap into it and I can feel it. But not even that. If I can get calm on it, that goes to show me that yeah, okay, I'm kind of navigating to this person. Like, I'm kind of having some type of feeling for his music and his artistry.
Mm-hmm.
So with that, I mean, after you opened that door for yourself, what happened after that? Like, did you just go ahead and just start, adventuring and just becoming an entrepreneur and independent artist? Like, what
Yeah.
happened made you go in that way?
At that point, once I recorded the song and I seen what it did, and I seen how I felt, more importantly than anything, when I'm
Yeah.
doing music and I'm not creating, I get really depressed. And that
Mm. Yeah.
depression, it's like to everything, just as bright as something can be, it can be just
Yeah.
as dark. You
Mm.
know, like, and so it's like I can be this
Yeah.
very happy-go-lucky, bring energy, bring life, bring love, but if I'm not in the right space and I'm in a depressed space, I feel like my whole world is surrounded in darkness.
Yeah.
You know,
Mm.
that
Yeah.
depression is something that I pray no person in this world ever has to feel.
Me
You know,
too.
and it comes from you being caught up in things that are not you. So
Mm-hmm.
I decided I was gonna produce the album, start writing it, and I did. Started managing my money and getting myself to a point where how can I get this product out? And we got the product out, and it's been a journey, and I haven't looked back since. And
Oh.
yeah, it's even when I think about it and I talk with you, it's just like
Yeah.
so amazing. Like
Mm-hmm.
when I made my first song, I was sitting in my grandmother's attic, staying there. I couldn't even stand up in it, like and people are like, "What is he about to do?" He got out of school, and you know how family get the
Right, right.
you know how that go, right? You know
Talking,
how that go.
yes.
And it's like to see even now,
Yeah.
just how my family is just like, wow, like we're
Mm.
so proud to see what you've become and the things that you've done. But it's because I followed my path. It's because I had to get through all that and allow
Yeah.
myself to grow and blossom. A lot of people,
Mm-hmm.
they'll look at a flower bud and be like, oh, it ain't gonna grow to be nothing.
Mm.
Look at that.
Yeah.
It ain't gonna do nothing. But all it needs is the right environment. All the
Come
seed
on.
needs is the right environment and the right nutrition, and it can sprout. And then that
Mm-hmm.
seed is a forest. So
Mm-hmm.
understanding that about myself and going through those hardships and those trying times, like you was talking about your trying time when you walked in
Yeah.
here, understanding that those trying times are meant to shape us and mold us,
Yeah.
make us greater. You know,
Yeah.
everything that happens in the physical also happens in the spiritual. So just like
Come on.
physically strengthen myself, I got to go through pain in order to build these muscles. I have to spiritually go through some pain in order to build my spiritual muscle up as well. So just allowing yourself to go through that. So I just went through the journey, and I told God, like, listen, when the music stops, I'll stop. But it hasn't stopped.
Yeah.
Stopped. And, everybody told me this would be something I would grow out of. Everybody told me this is something that, because when you were a kid, especially in the hood, all the kids can sing, dance, rap, play basketball, football. So they try to make us believe that these talents and gifts are not world renowned. They try to tell you get a plan B, but if we look at the most successful people in the world, they never made a plan B. They believed in themselves and they saw it through. And I'm gotten to a point in my life where I'd rather see this through to the end and see what my life becomes. And I don't want to live my last days on this earth and be what if. I don't ever have to wonder what if.
Right.
So.
Right. And that's why. Oh, no. I love it because it ties into your song, who you are. Like, I love who you are. One thing I love about who you are is so inspirational about be the true, authentic self of who you should be, your purpose. And that's why I was thinking like be who you are. I'm like, okay, I get it. Because what you're saying is find your purpose. Find what your true, authentic self is. And I think a lot of us, we get so caught up in, the purpose, what people or the world has for us, when you put God in and align yourself. And I love how you, I was watching the interview you did with Venus. I think she's so sweet. And I loved how y'all were talking about alignment. And I learned from this album, this alignment talked about the soul alignment of music. And I learned a lot from this album because I know we're going to get to talk about it. But like I said, follow your purpose of who you are. What you talked about in the track is talking about, finding your purpose, be who you are. I kind of seen the little S when you said, twinkle, twinkle, little star, my little star. Be your own star. Be who you are. You know what I'm saying? Follow your dreams, follow your heart. And I love how you're kind of get digging deep. But I think what I'm learning about your music is you're telling people to always find your purpose of who you are. And I think that's why we're so lost now from the music now to back then, because it doesn't talk about purpose. It just talks about, getting drunk, and popping
everything that can deter you from it.
Yeah.
We big on distractions now. We're not big on destiny.
No. Oh, catch that. Yes, I agree with that. Shout out to my friend JR. I agree, because we're in a point, I think we're in a time where we're not trying to get back where the music used to be, or I think the respect that it was, like with rhythm and blues, because now rhythm and blues has the hip hop mode. Yes, true enough, it is tied with that, but I feel like the soul of it is missing a lot. And learning from your album, you really are trying to tap in that, but not even that, tap into not only what you are as a Black man, for what you went through, because this tells a story about your life as well. And that's what I learned about when you started off with Summers in the South. Well, like I learned from this album that you're talking about your personal, your adversity you went through, but you're also tying in for us as people, as Black people, that whatever transition you are in your life, you can still make, but always have positivity within the adversity, if that makes sense.
Absolutely. And I wanted it to be that. I wanted the album from beginning to end to sound like a journey, to where if you listen to it from beginning to end, you would dive into yourself and be able to pull yourself out. I want you to be able to pull yourself out and get into who you were, and it even hearing how you recite the lyrics, it's like when I'm sitting in my room and I'm writing these things, you can't imagine what that does for me when I hear people tell me the lyrics of these songs, because it's like, wow. Like, if anybody knows me in my personal, intimate life, that I'm always feeling like I'm like not doing enough. I'm always like trying to get to this next thing, So when I hear people do things like that, it puts me in a present moment where it's like, wow. Like, I get to take that in. And that was a spiritual gift for me. So thank you.
Oh, I mean, because I feel like when I first heard track number 1, I was like, okay, this is different. This is not your average R&B you hear on the radio. But when I sat down and listened to the album last year and currently now, it goes to show you that you're going back in time. And that's why I wanted to talk to you about the anniversary of the Lovely Summer Nights in the South War, since today is the 1-year anniversary of the album, and I want to congratulate you on that. I wanted to ask you how the process was, and from my perspective, like I've kind of told you what I feel like this is a personal diary of you. With that being said, I wanted you to kind of get in the process, like, how was it, making this album? And not even that, I want to talk to you about the album cover, because the album cover is dope. I love the album cover because I think what I noticed from the album cover, you have a dark and light kind of perspective on the way it's made. But I wanted to ask you about Southwell, like, talk about the name of the album and talk about the visuals of it, because I love the beauty of what you did with it, and talk about everything that you did with this album.
So, South Ward is like the south side of Syracuse. A lot of gang activity, a lot of poverty, a lot of abandoned homes.
Yeah.
And I did not know abandoned homes, so many of them, was something abnormal until I got to other places. Because other places, development is a thing. Development leads to economic growth. So in my mind, I wanted to show that dichotomy. Because one thing we recognize, especially in the U.S., a lot of these cities that are the poorest, they have major universities, and I'm just keeping it real, that are billions and millions and millions of dollars, while just a mile away, you got some of the poorest people in the nation living. And that was something that I wanted to display. And because in my mind, I always see my talent is that even at Syracuse University, they send out a letter to the students letting them know, don't go down the street, because levels of poverty are so extreme down the street. Mind you, you have some of the highest earners that our president, our current standing president, is a graduate of Syracuse University. So just like the type of magnitude of money that is going there and how it's not getting trickled around to the rest of the community. And this happens in a lot of places. I wanted to show that dichotomy. I wanted to show how it's like development. One of the major things we've seen in this technological era was that if you had resources, you made off like a bandit, but you made huge economical strides. And something as small as having a computer or Wi-Fi in your home. How many of our youth were left 2-3 years behind because they didn't have something as simple as Wi-Fi's or computers because moms couldn't afford it, So it's like I wanted to show that dichotomy, and that's why like the top part is a lot more technologically advanced, but it's gloomy. Because a lot of times, you can have all of those things. I sit around these people that are tops of these Fortune 500 companies, and you don't realize how many people have money, but they don't have happiness. Whereas opposed to, I'll go pull up in my hood today. They may only have a little $20 bottle and a little bit of, but you know what? They're the happiest in the world.
Yeah.
And that's why I wanted the bottom to be colorful and vibrant. So even though these buildings are falling apart, somehow, some way, and it goes back to slavery. We always people, and they could never understand why are they so happy all the time, because joy came from something beyond what we had.
Amen.
And it's about continuing our joy to be beyond what we have.
Right. Oh, you better preach that. And you know what makes so much sense, because I get the dynamic of the album cover, because it speaks to that in the music. That's why my favorite song is Eternal Blemish Mind, Eternal Sunshine of Blemish Mind. Like, let the soul be a measure of man. When I heard that, I said, what? And then when I seen the video, I was like, wow, I seen how you kind of took your perspective of being in poverty, or being somebody that's learning from, I don't know, how can I say this? It's like being in poverty doesn't make you happy, but you don't have money to make you happy, if that makes sense. But with that, I've learned with this album, it's like the Eternals of a Sunshine of Blemish Mind. You can go through these things in a mindset of not understanding, of having a foggy type of perspective. But the thing about it is there's a light at the tunnel, if that makes sense. And so when I heard that, I was like, this is an interesting time. But when I heard the song, I was like, okay, Jaquiel. I was like, come through. I mean, it was amazing. I was like, wow. Because this album, I'm learning too. I sat back and thought, I was like, this reminds me of Raphael Sadiq, because you have a voice like him. It reminds me of the Miseducation of Lauryn Hill, but a male's perspective, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And when I sit back and think, it's like you're educating us as Black people to learn about how us as a community can get our stuff together. But learning about, at the end of the day, is poverty doesn't make who we are just because we're Black. We have to be bigger than what we are, Absolutely. And that's why when I learned from Lauryn Hill's album, it's like she was kind of teaching us with everything is everything. you know, lost one. She was teaching all that, and you're kind of doing the same thing in retrospect in at that time 2020.
Don't
But
be
looking back at it now,
really hard gym, baby girl.
what? Oh,
That's what you said. Yeah.
Okay, and then when you said from A's to G's, I said, okay, hold up. I know what he's talking about, because as a black woman, coming from that, you have to try to be better than what you are, you know? And that's why when I sat back and listened, look, everybody's excited, like, wow, yes, y'all, this album is fire. I don't care what nobody says. But if I have to be your number one fan, I will make sure this album, you know, gets to the recognition it should be, because of what it did for me. But not even that, it's understanding from a black person's perspective is how life is in general, being in 2021. And like I said, the same stuff Lauren was saying, you're saying the same stuff is happening now, you know? And so that's one of my favorite album tracks. I love So Far So Hard. I love that one. And I'm starting to like Travel Desire, because I'm like, oh, it's talking about, like, you know, growing and being in love. And like I said, I love love songs. I love ballads. And I feel like in some type of way you kind of did put a ballad on there, but it was kind of understanding about the black woman, in my personal opinion.
Yes.
But for the most part, I understood from this album is you are making conscious statements of black people to make sure that you are understanding who you are. I love it. And I want you to, like, understand, be proud of what you did, because it did something for me. And I think the production, I don't know who was the producer and stuff like that, but you need to big them up real good, because this album was really
it was a collective of people. So yeah, shout out to the saxophonist, NK, all of the people that got involved. Brian, yeah.
I mean, dope. Did you write majority of your work on that album?
So yeah, I wrote everything.
Oh,
yeah. I wrote everything. I came up with all the concepts. I came up with how I wanted everything to be, like everything from beginning to end, how I wanted the album to feel, those brief voice interludes. Like I spend a lot of time on my work, because I want the reaction you have, I want the whole world to have that reaction.
Come on.
Like I want people to feel something, you know, because we live in a world nowadays where people don't feel too much. You know, I want people to feel something and really start dealing with some of the things that are affecting our lives, our ability to have healthy relationships, not only with somebody else, but with ourselves as well. You know, how do you deal with those things? And so I wanted to be able to create a body of work that speaks to that.
And you did, sir, because I'm telling you, because I'm like, this reminds me of Lauryn Hill, the Miseducation, and it's crazy because it just made 23 years the other day on the 25th. And it's really crazy because sitting back thinking myself, this is like songs that kind of get you through the day, but not even that, it's just understanding about you as a black person, love your black skin, love who you are, love black girl magic, love black boy joy, you know, what we call it today. And I feel like with this album, I sat back and listened a lot, and I was like, wow, you know, to go through what I'm going through personally with this hurricane, I thank God for music like this that can kind of ease me and calm me down, because when you're in this mindset of like the unknown, or, you know, what could happen in life, you have an album like yours to really kind of set the tone, like, you know, it's going to be okay. You have to learn how to get through your, you know, your struggles, your adversity. And I was like, he got an album. He got a real good album. And I want you to know I'm truly proud of you, Jaquiel. So, I mean, I have to definitely give you your flowers for that. So, I'm just truly, truly proud. And I want you to know that, you know, I hope people do understand from this album that is really an understanding of, you know, life, but not even that, just about black life. And that's why with this, I want you to understand that people, we need music like this, and that's why I feel like it's R&B and soul. And because I have the, you know, I want to recognize this album on my platform, it goes to show you that you're making conscious statements to life in general, and I'm super proud of you for that.
Making me blush.
Oh, I'm sorry. Look, I mean, hey, the truth is the truth. I mean, you gotta learn from that. So I wanted to ask you, what have you learned since you dropped this album, since today is the 1-year anniversary of Summers in the South Ward, sir? What have you learned from this album from last year that you learned from being 1 year?
So definitely being a better businessman, I think has been like something that I've had to learn. Understanding the magnitude of just faith and belief. Like all of the visuals, when they popped in my head, they seemed so far-fetched. It seemed so far away. It seemed so unattainable. And now when I sit with you, it's like, wow, like all of those things. And when you think back on even your life, there were so many things that seem unobtainable back then, that somehow, some way, a way was made. And we thank God for that way being made, you know? And so understanding that faith and vision will take you farther than you could have ever imagined. And I think that that's something that I had to take and really, really recognize. Because we say we believe in ourselves, but do you really believe in yourself? Do you really see yourself taking it as far as it can possibly go? You know, a lot of times we minimize ourselves and we minimize our visions. And I know I was doing something that was abnormal, especially in our world when nowadays it's like, if like tribal desire, I'm talking about actually being a father. I'm talking about actual final product of me having sex with you and how, hey, I know that I'm making something with you, but I really want to make something with you. You know, like, to be beyond just that feeling, that little couple minutes of feeling. It should actually be on what are we creating here? You know, an energy exchange, the creation of a life, and how I want to be able to be around that and be what so many men don't have, you know, and just I wanted to talk about that because it don't get talked about nowadays. Like, you know, so many different emotions. It's like R&B and rap. We've shrunken things down to like specific subject matters. And so I'm extremely nervous about making something like this because I didn't think people would like it. You know, because the subject matter wasn't what people were used to. The visuals, I was nervous about. Like when I got with Check and I was like, hey, you know, I want to make a short film and we're going to use these songs. And I seen the Bronze Kingdom and I was like, wow, these African statues, I want to put that in. Like, and knowing that this was it was for people, but it was for a belief in me. You know, I had to believe in me and say, okay, this is for you, but this is for people. You know, because it was a battle. It was a battle because I knew it was something that wasn't. It's almost like we sometimes still keep ourselves in that elementary mindset of wanting to do what's cool. You know, still do that. We still do that. You know, wonder what's cool. You know, and recognizing that I'm not trying to be cool. Like I'm comfortable in who I am. I love who I am, and I want to be who I am. So even with the sunshine, you know, like, how can I really give a visual product that people would, that, you know, because I missed what music videos used to be. You remember when we used to have music videos used to be so good. We would have countdowns and it'd be like, who got the top 10 of the month? And we used to sit there with AJ and Free or TRL and we would want to know who is going to be the best value of our time. When we watching a music video. And you know, especially during the pandemic, like something happened during the pandemic where I started going through Michael Jackson videos. And I'm just like, and his birthday today. And
happy birthday to the king.
You know? And I started going through his visual work. And I'm just like, wow. Looking at his album covers, I'm just like, this man was beyond genius. Like the magnitude, if you like, and now that we're adults, when we were kids, we just loved the boom, you know, in the moves and all that stuff.
Right, like because you know I was doing them dances, Aaliyah rocked the boat, I was doing all that.
Yeah, but now that we're adults, we can see and appreciate the artistry from that human being in a way we couldn't when we were children. You know, when I look at his album covers, when I look at his music videos, like Earth Song and They Don't Care About Us. For some reason, during the pandemic, I'm watching them and I'm really watching. Like I'm looking in the background, I'm looking at all the symbolism. I'm like, wow, this is a masterpiece. That's why we make music. That is why we make art. Like you should not want to make art just to satisfy common status quo. You should want to make art that's going to always break the threshold of who you are as a person.
That's right.
And what the artistic community standards are.
Come on, I agree with you 100%. I'm so happy you talked about Michael, like, you know, in that retrospect, because I think, and what I love about Michael Jackson, a lot of people don't understand is he was a student too. And people think that Michael just, I just, you know, do that, you know, he's the king. But my thing is he learned from others. And that's why I give him so much respect, because he may have, you know, been the master of everything because this man did everything. But the thing about it is he also learned from other people as well. And that's why I give him so much respect, you know, about him being, you know, the entertainer. Because if he's going to learn from somebody, he's going to learn it and do it 50 times better. This is being fact.
You know, but he was humble enough to do that. And somewhere along the lines, a lot of our artists, it's like humility went out the window. We no longer, like, Michael was great because he was a student to great people.
Yeah.
He was willing to humble himself and say, yo, listen, I'm an empty canvas, fill me. You know, some of the greatest artists in the world, and they did that. They did that. So he got a couple dance moves from James Brown. You know, he was able to get a couple of things from Prince. He was able to get from Stevie Wonder, you know, and make this beautiful artist that we all love.
Exactly. And that's why we miss him so much and wish him a happy, beautiful birthday up in heaven, because Michael is the king. He is the king, period, point blank. But it's just so dope that you take that transition and talk about Michael, but not even just that. You're showing that people like a Michael Jackson can be a full-on entertainer and can break through other genres, but he always kept his soul. And that's why I think I respect about your album, because you can take it in so many different retrospects, but you can make it into a soul album. Like, you're talking about poverty, you're talking about the youth, you're talking about love, you're talking about heartbreak, things in that retrospect. You can mix it up, but you always have to keep it, I think, to me, soul, but honest and pure. And that's why I think the album touches so much to me, because you're reaching other levels that I think a lot of people don't want to talk about anymore, about talking about, poverty and what's going on in the world. And, I think, like you said, from last year, what you took from Michael Jackson, because everything that was going on with the George Floyd case, I mean, that right there was monumental moments in 2020. I mean, we may have had COVID, but we still have racism still going on in the world. You know what I'm saying? That we still trying to overcome after all these years, And listening to your album, you're really talking about deep, deep topics. And I'm like, wow, he's really going there. And, sometimes artists have to go there in order to get, I'm not saying a reaction, but to understand that this hit, it's going to hit somebody, but I want them to hit him and understand for what it can do for you in your life,
And it's a gift, understanding that as an artist, you were given a gift very few people were given. God gave you the ability to tap into the ether, recognize feelings, and then give them a physical equivalent. And so with that physical equivalent, you have a duty to make sure you are passing the right messages to people, because they are listening. And maybe it's because I spent so much time working with kids, and I used to watch this. I used to watch kids, like, they would do the dances and sing the songs of stuff that, it's like, should you be? But to adults, it's like, we always tell ourselves, oh, it's just TV. But working with kids, I would recognize, it's not just TV.
It's something going on.
Like, in all of those lyrics, they were doing all of those moves that they seen in the music. And I really had to ask myself, what did I want my mark to be?
Come on.
And so that's when I decided, you know what, man, I'm gonna make clean music. Because I love the fact that, like, my grandparents' songs, you can play with the kids in the car. Like, like that, there's something about that type of music that can grow with you. The fact that Marvin Gaye was talking, like, he got it on. But when I was a kid, it was in a child's place, and now that I'm an adult, it's in an adult's place. And I love the fact that it was able to grow with me. And I want music that can grow with people as well.
Amen. Oh, man. That's why you so dope. That's why I'm like, this dude is really going to go far. And that's why I said I would love to see you work with people like her. And I wanted to ask you, is there anybody that you would love to collaborate? Like, who is, like, your dream collaboration in this industry that you're trying to, like, work with, if you ever wanted to work with somebody?
Dream collaboration? Ooh, are we talking like producers, rappers?
Anybody in general.
Dream collaboration. I love what Dreamville is doing. Dreamville is doing. Just because I love how J. Cole sort of acknowledges, like, he does, like, kind of what I try to do with writing.
Yes.
About real things, like, like, and I love that. I love real life experiences,
Yes.
I feel like, I can't wait. It's slowly happening to the point where we as a people, we evolve beyond facades. We evolve beyond the characterization, and we really want to know who our artists are. Like even we love, like, in our generation, we had Missy Elliott and Busta Rhymes, but that was really them. Like, there was no character there. That was really them. And we see even in their old age, that's still them. Like, and there's a certain authenticity and realness in that. And I just love that. I love that about the Dreamville team. I love, as female artists, I love G&A Co.
Wow, that's interesting.
Yeah.
You hear a lot of people say about her. And that's really dope because I think for her, she's in her own lane too. She has
I
her
like
own
that.
voice escalate because a lot of people compare her to Sade. And I
Hmm.
kind of see that a little bit, but like I said, Janae is her own person.
She her
I
own person.
remember, she a whole person. I remember her when I was like 13. Like I remember
Yeah.
when she was like a teen, a teen bop, whatever like that. And to see her evolve was really huge for her.
And I
And I
love
think, like you said, and exactly, because when I got to college, I felt like, okay, this is Janae. This is what she really was trying to go
hmm
through for years. So, I mean, sometimes, like you said, you have to kind of go through those stages of life of what music you want to do. But I think, like you said, as you get older and become an adult, I think the music transition in all walks of life. So that's why I think a lot of people, I wouldn't say not sleep on her, but the thing about it is she's a person that's evolved. She's not going to be the same person you met in 2011 to 2021. It's different.
Absolutely. Mm.
That's dope. I can kind of see what I thought you were gonna say. I thought you was gonna say Innocent Pack. I can see that Stephanie as
Yeah, yo, I do like
saying,
Anderson. I do like Anderson. I love what him and Bruno just did. Like how they
yeah,
brought it back and gave us sort of that 60s sound because I listen to that stuff all day.
right, right,
Like,
right.
a lot of people would be like, yo, and I remember somebody in college was like, yo, this is this dude named Anderson Paak. You should go listen to him. Yeah, Anderson is dope. Anderson is dope.
Yeah, that's dope. Well, I'm super proud of you, sir. And I wanted to ask you, do you have any advice you want to give to anybody in this music industry that you since you've taken the journey, or any advice that somebody wants to get in the same thing like you did?
The best artist you can be is you.
Oh,
Best, the best artist is you. But you gotta find out who you are. Like
wow.
you have to, your life experiences is what we want to hear in those songs. Your trials and tribulations is what we want to hear in those songs. We
Wow.
want to hear about your hard times and your good times because that is what people connect with. People
Right.
connect with the real,
Right.
and I think that we got to go back to that. And I think that we have to acknowledge that it's always going to be the realness of people that we connect with. Believing in yourself, trusting in your vision. That vision that you have is unlike anything else. There is something that
Right.
you're supposed to deliver to the world that nobody else can deliver. And if you don't deliver it, you're going to set us back. And you really got to look at it like that you're going to set us back if you don't fulfill your purpose and you don't manifest that vision that's growing inside
Right.
you because you are a cure to some ailment or some problem
Right.
going on. And
Right. Right.
we need you.
That's dope. Oh, well, I want to ask you one more question before we do
Uh-huh.
end today's live. And I want to ask you, since today is the beautiful 1 year anniversary of your lovely album, what is one word you want to describe about this album? What is one word that you want people to take away from this album that you talk about?
Inspirational.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Yeah,
I can see
definitely.
that.
I want people to be inspired. I like I said, I wrote it to be a journey. I try to, and I've tried to make a couple records that you bump in the car with a bunch of people. For the most part, I love the fact that my music is a solitary experience. I love the fact that
Yeah.
my music is like, it's an experience for just maybe a small group of people, and it requires
Right.
like mind. It requires everybody to get themselves on a certain mental plane to be
Right. Right. Right.
accepted. And so I think that.
Well, that's dope. Well, I call this album Soul Alignment. So this definitely is aligned with the soul. It aligns with everything that you are doing, Mr. Jaquiel, and I'm just super proud of you. And I just want to congratulate you on everything that you've done with this beautiful album. And I'm just elated because I think what I've learned from this album is it can heal, it can touch, and it can definitely inspire. And it definitely inspired me today because after what I've been through, I really, really am happy I got to listen to this album. It made me it calmed me down, but it healed me in so many ways. And I want to thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. Oh, thank you so much. Oh, look, hey, look, when I can feel something, I can feel in my soul, I have to give my flowers to it. So I just want to give you so much respect. Thank you so much. Oh, well, do you have any last words before we end today's live today? Do you have anything you want to promote? What's up and coming from you?
So I am currently working on a couple projects. We got a lot of good things coming. We got a project that's with the same production team that worked on Summer Nights in the South Ward. So that should be, yeah, that should be interesting, as well as we got something a little bit more live there. We got more visuals coming. We just want to take it to the next level and really take things as far as they can go. More tunes for your head top, more visuals in the crop pot.
Well, I hope we get a part. I hope we get a part two of this album. I mean, I don't know if it's
Yes,
gonna be
yes,
a part
yes.
two. We'll see.
Definitely
But
check out Midnight R&B. Oh my gosh, check out this platform. I'm telling you, man, the nostalgia is a high unlike any other.
oh, well, thank you so much. I truly, truly am proud of you, and congratulations on the 1 year anniversary of your beautiful album, Summers in the Night, and the South War. Excuse me. But I'm super proud of you, and congratulations on everything, y'all. So I do have a couple announcements I'm going to be making. Next Sunday, please join me on the Midnight R&B edition on my page. Next Sunday, I will be joined with the awesome, the one and only, the singer, the songwriter, and the educator, the one and only Miss Kelly Nicole Price. She is the songwriter. She actually wrote, if y'all remember, the 15th anniversary of Beyonce's B-Day album is making 15 years next Sunday. She actually co-wrote Deja Vu. So I'll be joined with her next Sunday. We are going to be joining talking about the beautiful album of B-Day. We're also going to be talking about her contributions and the award she won a Grammy for the album. So I want to sit at her and talk to her about that next Sunday, yes. And I'm just super excited. Oh, look, you know, I already told you I don't play no games when it comes down to these, to my show. But I'm just super proud just to see people like her coming on my platform. I'm so blessed and honored for her to have me on my platform. Also, in a couple weeks, y'all, stay tuned. Me and my friend JR got something coming up in the works. So y'all, coming up in 2 weeks on September 17th, we're going to be doing a versus. And we'll let y'all know up and coming who's going to be on my versus. So I'm truly excited about that. I also do have another interview coming up. It's going to be with 1/4 of the group For Real. Her name is Denise. Wendy Williams Stern. I'm so sorry. Wendy Williams Stern. She was in the 1/4 of the group called For Real. If you remember, she was on the Waiting to Excel soundtrack. She was. They did a song called Love Will Be Waiting at Home. So I'm truly excited to have her on my platform in a couple of weeks. We're going to be celebrating the 25th anniversary of her sophomore album with her group. So come along with that, y'all. We come along with some interviews. We coming hard. We coming home. And I may have one big interview in the works, y'all. I'm not going to say the name. In process, still in the works. I'm super excited. But y'all, thank you so much in the month of September, y'all. Thank you so much for joining me on my platform. Y'all, thank you for just giving me so much light and so much joy. And y'all, please keep my family in your prayers. In the state of Louisiana, y'all, we are praying for them, y'all. Pray for everybody that, you know, is getting affected by this hurricane. But like I said, this too shall pass. We want to make sure there's no casualties, no anything, y'all. We just want to pray for just love, light, and joy, and making sure that everybody's safe in this hurricane right now that's going on in the state of Louisiana. Mr. Jaquiel, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. I am super proud of you, and congratulations on this beautiful 1 year anniversary of this album. I'm probably going to be bobbing it later on today.
There you go.
Because I need something to get me through the day today. But thank you so much from the bottom of my heart, y'all. We are done with my beautiful interview with the singer and songwriter, Mr. Jaquiel. Congratulations on everything, and just enjoy this album for what it is. Thank you so much.
Everyone. See you.
Bye.